What is up? What's good? What's going on? How you doing? How you been? I hope you're doing well. Rather than go on for 20 minutes about my day, I know that most people just want to see the load board and stuff like that. So I'll just quickly go over my day. I uploaded that video about me getting stuck in the mud. It wasn't like stuck in the mud, like buried in the mud. It was just they were extending the parking lot and they put down a clay foundation for it. I didn't realize that it was red clay. I thought that they had extended the parking lot, but they hadn't finished it yet, and they didn't have it marked off or anything. So I didn't walk out there and check to see what it was, and I drove on top of it, and it was just red clay, and it was wet. So I just lost traction on it. I couldn't get traction. They came over, hooked up a chain to the front of my truck, pulled me out of it. Not a big deal. It wasted an hour and a half of my day. I got sweaty, I got muddy, I got nasty. It sucked. After that, I went, picked up the load. There was some drama with the load, nothing major. It was a really tight dock. I was, it was too short, or it was the dock was too short for one of these trucks. So like my tractor was out in the road whenever I was parked at the dock. They didn't have the paperwork for the load. They didn't know what the weight of the load was. I had to go scale it. They thought it was 40,000 pounds. The broker thought it was 12,000 pounds. Ends up the load's 23,000 pounds of pallets. And then I drove. I only did 450 miles my first drive shift because I was tired and I wanted to take a shower because I was sticky and icky from spending 90 minutes trying to get out of the mud. And so I just stopped at my fuel stop, which was 450 miles into my trip. I only planned on taking a 30 there and getting fuel and continuing on, but I went ahead and took a 10 there. And then once my 10 was up, I rolled again. And I did a full drive shift just now. And I'm in Evanston, Wyoming at the moment. I'm 4 hours away from my delivery. And I'm going to take about 16 hours off here. Um, so I'm only 4 hours away. So I don't want to leave until about 4 a.m. because they don't open till 8 a.m. I'm looking up here because my TV has OBS on it. And that's the screen. Camera's over here. Sorry. So I'm going to be taking about 16 hours off here in Evanston, Wyoming, so that I can leave at 4 a.m., arrive there at 8 a.m., so I'm not getting there and starting my 14-hour clock real early. Um, and I'm looking at loads, so let's flip back over to the load board. That pretty much gets you caught up. So I went through that as quickly as I could, getting you caught up on my day. Now let's look at loads. I've already been looking through here, and in case you don't watch my videos and you don't know like where I like to run and my tendencies and what I like personally, I like to stay away from major cities. I like to stay away from congested areas. I prefer to drive out in the middle of nowhere. Um, so the central United States, especially the north central United States, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, Wisconsin, New Mexico, Arizona. Colorado's a shitty market, but Colorado, um, Nebraska, Missouri, places like that. That's the type of places I like to go. I don't like to get over into um, the eastern half of Illinois. I don't like to get into Ohio and Pennsylvania and the deep northeast. I don't really mind going to Florida and places like that down in the southeast, but I don't really like going down there. Um, Freight's kind of bad down in the southeast, and traffic, and it's really congested. It's really hard to find parking. So I am willing to go almost anywhere for the right price. But if all the loads are paying about the same, then I'm going to stick to the areas that I like to go. So there are areas on here, like I don't restrict my search criteria to only areas that I want to go. I restrict my search criteria to areas that I'm willing to go. So the only places that aren't showing up in my search as destinations are like New York, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, places like that. I will not go there. There's almost no price that you can pay me to get me to go there. I'm not going into the deep Northeast. But Pennsylvania and Maryland, Yeah, I will go to those places. I might even be willing to go to South Jersey. It doesn't show up in my searches, but I've been to South Jersey before. I am willing to go there, but it's got to pay a really, really amazing price. Like it's got to be great. Um, so there's a couple of loads that I'm looking at. So I'm delivering to Jerome, Idaho, which is basically Twin Falls. And there's a load on the load board listed coming out of Jerome, Idaho, going to Manawa, Wisconsin. It's only paying $2.59 a mile. It's almost 1,600 miles, 40,000 pounds. Let's see if there's any details on it. No details. All it says in the details is if you um, don't get an answer, then leave a voicemail or a text message. If that thing was light, if it was a lighter load, I might be interested in it. But paying like really low rates and it being really heavy, and to get from Jerome, Idaho to Manawa, Wisconsin is kind of a pain in the ass. And Manawa, Wisconsin's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So I'm going to be driving down some highways to get there. And there's like, I would have to go really far north or really far south and then cut back down south or go back up north. There's no direct way to get to Wisconsin, to Manawa, Wisconsin from Jerome, Idaho. It's very indirect on the interstates. So it adds, I don't even know if the mileage here is correct. It might be a lot more miles than this. If they're using like some weird ass highways to get there, let's check. What is it? We're looking at Jerome, Idaho to Manawa, Wisconsin. Is that what it was? I think it was. This one is saying 1,600 miles. This is pretty much the route that I was looking to take, going up to the 90. My internet is a little sluggish here in Evanston. So it's going up to the 90 and then the 94. Oh my goodness. So it's actually saying the 94 is faster than the 90? Dipping down here on the 90 is not faster? Huh. And then once you get over here into Wisconsin, I have no idea how I would get to Manawa. I think that this 29 right here is actually a really nice divided highway that links Green Bay with Eau Claire. So that might be the way I go, and then take this 45, exactly the route that it's suggesting. So that might not actually be too bad to get to Manawa. I might have to take the 45 and then the 22 over. I don't know. I'd have to look at the details. I'd have to get the exact address. And I would be more inclined to take the 90 than the 94. If nothing else, just to bypass Minneapolis. But yeah, it's a very indirect. You're going way up north and then cutting back down south, or you go way down south and then you cut back up north. But anyway, back to the loads. So that is the only load that I found that's actually in Jerome, Idaho. Here's Mackay, Idaho, going to Phoenix, Arizona, paying some cheap crap, $2.74 a mile. It's 43,000 pounds. There's a bunch of light loads around 12, 13,000 pounds that are coming out of Bear River City, Utah. And a couple of them are going to Denver. These Aurora, Colorado is basically Denver. Pueblo, Colorado. There's another one going to Pueblo. I don't know exactly where Pueblo is at. I think it's just a little south of Denver. And then there's a couple of them. Well, one load going to Albany, Oregon that's been posted several times. So I would be very interested in the Albany, Oregon load. Bear River City, Utah is North Salt Lake. So you have Salt Lake, then you have Ogden, and Bear River City is up at the northern part above Ogden. So I shouldn't really have to deal with much of any of Salt Lake going to Bear River City. It's way up north at the northern edge of the Salt Lake City metropolitan area. And it's only 144 miles away, and Albany, Oregon is just south of Portland. Portland is the nearest freight hub that I know of to Twin Falls, Idaho. Yeah, there are loads scattered all over the place, all over the country, but there are certain places where there's lots of loads. And Portland is the closest place I know of to Twin Falls that has lots of loads. Sacramento is roughly the same distance from Portland, and yeah, there are lots of loads in Northern California, but getting there would be more of a pain in the ass than getting to Portland. But it's a light load, 13,000 pounds, and I'm definitely interested in load weight in the area that I'm in. I'm like, this whole area, Wyoming, Idaho, Utah, Oregon, lots and lots of mountains all in this area. So, yeah, I'm definitely interested in load weight. The 23,000 pounds I have in the trailer right now, my engine, even going across all of the mountains I've gone across so far, which I don't think I've hit the bad mountains yet. I think I hit the bad mountains once I get into Utah. Steeper grades. Wyoming's just real casual, long grades. They're not a lot of really steep mountains in Wyoming. It's real just like rolling mountains. But it hasn't really strained the engine at all. The 23,000 pounds, the engine fan has only kicked on one time. Like, my engine has been hardly stressed at all. It's like done nothing to my engine going across the mountains of Wyoming. I'm 2 miles. Evanston's like 2 miles from the border of Utah. So once I take off from here, I'm going to cross into Utah in about 2 minutes. What do we got here? Mackey. We already looked at one. Phoenix, Arizona. I'm not really feeling a Phoenix, Arizona. Now, there are loads up here at the top that look really appealing. A bunch of heavy loads going cross country to Florida. The mileage rate on this is not very good. The weight is really bad. And where you're picking this load up in Marsing, Idaho, it's off the beaten path. You're going to be driving down, I don't know how in the hell to get to Marsing. The only highway going into Marsing is way out of the way. You can take city streets to get over to Marsing, but I don't know if a truck can go across that crap. I don't really know if I want to haul a heavy-ass load coast to coast. And in general, you don't want to haul cheap freight over long distance. And $3 a mile, $2.90 a mile to go to Florida for a heavy load going across the mountains of Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, You're going through a lot of mountains with this heavy-ass load. I don't really know if I want to deal with going down to Tampa, Florida. Because of all of these loads right here, the only one that I would consider taking is this Boise, Idaho to Tampa, Florida. So let's figure this out. It's the 21st through the 25th or the 26th. Do they have any details on the load? Okay, so it has an extra stop in it that they're not mentioning on here. They don't have any extra stops listed. But in the comments down here, this worthless piece of shit says that there's a stop in Fort Worth, Texas. I have my search set up so that it does not show loads with extra stops in them. I don't want to do extra stops. So that immediately tells me that no, I'm definitely not bothering with this bullshit. Because I'm going to have to detour all the way down to Fort Worth, Texas. So this is going to be a lot more than 2,500 miles, most likely. Let's check this out. Boise, Idaho to, was it Mulberry, Florida? No, it's Tampa, Florida. So Boise, Idaho to Tampa, Florida is 2,600 miles, 2,625 miles. This agent has it listed at 2,574, so she's undercutting the miles by a lot. And then you also have to go to Fort Worth, Texas. So you can't take the most direct route there. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's add in Fort Worth, Texas. So going that route, it's another 100 miles. So that's 2,706 miles to go through Fort Worth. And it's actually going to be a lot more than that because you wouldn't be taking, well, I don't know if I'd be taking that highway to get there. That right there is a more realistic route rather than taking all those highways to Fort Worth. So that's 2,820 miles. Instead of the highways across here is a lot of two-lane bidirectional. I took them all the time. I've been up and down those roads many, many times. So 2820, and she has the load listed as 2574. So that's like 250 more miles than what she has this load listed as. And she lied about this on the stops. So that just kind of pisses me off. It makes me not want to do business with that broker. So let's refresh this list. We have all these Marsing, Idahos to Mulberry, Floridas. Where the hell is Mulberry, Florida? I think Mulberry is right over here in this industrial park. Right here is Mulberry, Florida. Yeah, it's in the Lakeland area in this industrial park. So it's basically going to the same place, and it's picking up in Marsing, Idaho, which is right here next to Boise. So this load going from Marsing to Mulberry is almost the exact same load as this Boise to Tampa. And these people have the load listed at 2,614 miles, and she has it listed as 2,574. I have no idea where she's coming up with that bullshit number from. Not really wanting to go to Georgia. But, oh, this one's $3.22 a mile? Caldwell, Idaho. It's 4 days on the load. I would be willing to bet that Doraville is Atlanta. All right, let's check and see where these two locations are at. Where's Caldwell? Okay, so Caldwell's over by Boise. And it's right off the interstate. So it's not like Marsing where I have to drive some janky-ass roads to get over to it. So I like that better. No, it's Atlanta. So Doraville is Atlanta. That's a pretty damn easy drive. And there are a lot of different routes I could take. What I would most likely do is just go back the exact same way that I just came and go down to Oklahoma City and take I-40 to Memphis. And then what is it, the 22? Yeah, the 22 to Birmingham, and then the 20 to Atlanta. Damn, that is sounding like a plan right there. Is this a heavy load? 43,000 pounds. Yep. Shit. I don't want to be hauling a heavy ass load through all these mountains. I don't like hauling heavy loads. And it's mainly because this is my truck. If it weren't my truck, I wouldn't care so much about hauling that weight. I mean, the fuel cost isn't even that big of a deal. You know, even if it's an extra $100, who the fuck cares? It's mainly the wear and tear that it puts on the truck. Like the engine has, like, it's not put under any strain to haul light loads. But these heavy loads, the engine is constantly running at high temperature, high pressures, high everything. Like, everything is pegged out under these heavy ass loads. Every time you go over every little mountain and hill. But that is a very tempting load. There's a way that I can add these loads to my bam. We'll hit the plus mark on that to add that to my loads of interest. So that Caldwell, Idaho to Doraville, Georgia. Interested in that. $3.22 a mile. That is. So what do I make on $3.22 a mile? So 3.22 times 0.65. I'm making $2.09 a mile on that. That's not bad for such a long run. 7,000 times 0.65. I make $4,550. So I'm making about $3,500 on this load, and I'd be making about $4,500 on that one. Now, it wouldn't all be on the same paycheck, but it would all be within a 1 week period. So this delivers on the 24th, and I picked up this load on the 17th. It would be exactly 7 days between those two loads, and I would make a total gross to the business, what I would make before all expenses are taken out, total gross to the business would be $3,500 plus $4,500. So that would put me at $8,000 gross on the week if I grabbed that load right there. See how easy it is to make good money over here at Landstar? And I don't even know if I want to bother with that load. Do I really want to drive across the country to Atlanta, Georgia? Do I want to bother with that? But I could easily just right there, bam, that's an $8,000 week. Looking at it not from a paycheck perspective, but a 7-day period. That's the way I generally look at my weeks. I don't really give a shit about pay periods. I look at how much money I'm making over a running 7-day period. Man, 8 grand. That'd be pretty sweet. Um, let's keep looking. So we got the Caldwell, Idaho to Atlanta, Georgia. So it's basically Boise to Atlanta. What else we got here? Boise to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hell no. I would much rather go to Atlanta than Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So if it just comes down between those two, then nah. Well, this one is 8,000 pounds lighter. But no. All right, Caldwell, Idaho to Doraville. This is the same load listed again at a different price. This is like Salt Lake to Minersville, Pennsylvania. $3.18 a mile, but it's only like 17,000 pounds. Here's the same load listed again at 17,000 pounds. This is some line haul bullshit, and it pays crap. Caldwell, Idaho. This is the same load going to Atlanta. Somebody else got it listed at a different price. Maryland. This is the exact same load listed by two different brokers. One of them has it listed as a 1,900 mile load. The other one has it listed as a 2,100 mile load. And they're like 30 cents difference on the price. Now we just got a bunch of Jerome, Idaho to El Paso, Texas. This is a new load. Cheap shit. $2.53 a mile, 43,500 pounds of building material. And going straight south to El Paso, I don't know if there is an easy way to get to El Paso. I don't think there. What you would probably do is take the 84 to Salt Lake, and then the 80 to Denver, and then the 25 all the way down to the 10, and then the 10 to El Paso. I mean, if it were paying decent money, I wouldn't mind going to El Paso. But at that rate, no. And at that weight, no. Bear River City to Albany, Oregon. Definitely interested in that load. That's Portland, and it's light. Clearfield, Utah to Sequim, Washington. I don't know where in the hell Sequim, Washington's at. Clearfield, Utah. Looking like it's probably South Salt Lake based on the mileage. Let's look at the details on it. Find out where these two places are at. Holy shit. This place in Washington is it's basically fucking Canada. How the hell do you even get there? Is there like some massive bridge that goes across that bay? Nope, there's not. So you're going to have to drive all the way down here and then take the 16 up to this place. It's some port. So you're picking up off of a port. That's going to be a pain in the ass to get to. You have to drive around Seattle, south of Seattle, and then up there into the port area. So that's going to be a bitch to get to. And then where's it where's it picking up from? It's yeah, this is actually North Salt Lake. I thought it'd be South Salt Lake based on the mileage, but it's north. So North Salt Lake going to the bay in Washington. I don't think I want to mess with that crap. Mackay, Idaho to Phoenix, Arizona, no. There aren't any other loads here that are really that tempting. And the Marsing to Mulberry. Now this Boise to Tampa, I'm not going to work with that broker. There's just too much bullshit like listed on that load incorrectly that I don't trust that broker. I'm not going to do business with him. So this Marsing to Mulberry, I don't really want to deal with that much weight driving across country. But if I were to drive across country hauling a heavy load, I think I would rather go Atlanta, because the Atlanta load is paying really close to the same, and I'm not going to have to deadhead like 500 miles out of Florida. Because you can easily tack on 500 miles to this 2614 for deadhead miles. Oh, 2 new loads. Green River, Wyoming to Enid, Oklahoma. No. Enid is next to Oklahoma City. It's just north of Oklahoma City. Based on the loads that are getting put on the load board in this area, you can tell that brokers are looking to see what trucks are in the area and where they're based out of, and they're looking for loads for those drivers. So before I got the Jerome, Idaho load, there were no loads listed in Jerome, Idaho. After I got the Jerome, Idaho load, 3 or 4 loads have been posted out of Jerome, Idaho, and now in that area, loads going back to where I live in Oklahoma are starting to be posted. So the brokers are trying to post loads they think that I would want, but really what I'm looking for is a light load that pays really well, that's going into a good market, that is not a big deadhead. That is what I'm looking for. All right, let's refresh the results. So I have 2 loads that I'm interested in. The load going to Georgia pays $3.22 a mile, and the load going to Oregon pays like $3.45 a mile. So let's change the search parameters to only show loads over $3 a mile. Let me pause this while I change that. The load count is up over 81,000 loads. It's like 81,175 loads. That's pretty high. The highest I've seen it since I've been at Landstar is just below 90,000, like 87,000. I don't know what the highest it's been. That's just what the highest that I've personally seen, that I've noticed. I don't sit here and look at the load board all day every day. So um, I changed the minimum rate per mile to $3 per mile because I have a couple of loads that I'm interested in that are over $3 per mile. So why should I be looking at stuff less than that? I am really tempted to pull the trigger on this Atlanta load. Did I have that route plotted in here? Where's it originating from? It's going Caldwell. Is it going Caldwell to Doraville? Caldwell, Idaho to Doraville, Georgia. 2,200 miles. What are they saying the mileage is? 2172. They're about 20 miles short. It's not horrible. All right, so they're saying to take 80 all the way across. And I am familiar with this highway that you use to cut across and avoid Omaha to get over to the 29, and then the 29 down to Kansas City. And what is this? Is this a 64? No, I think this is the 70. What is it? Come on, pop up, pop up, pop up. I think that's a 70, and then the 64. And then what is this going down into Nashville? I don't know what that is. I've driven down this road, but I can't remember what it is. I've actually driven like this exact route before from Kansas City. I picked up in Spring Hill, Kansas, and delivered to down here in the oh shit, Lake City area. No, wait, it's not Lake City. Lake City is up north, and then Lakeland is the one down here, Lakeland area. So I've driven this exact route from Kansas City down to Atlanta. My internet sucks. And you know what? This load doesn't pick up until the 20th. So I'm going to have like 20 hours off in between these two loads. So after I deliver the load tomorrow morning, I can drive over to Caldwell, Idaho, and just sit there until 8 a.m. Thursday morning. And this delivers Monday between 8 and 4. Is that right? 24th is Monday? Yeah, Monday between 8 and 4. So I have all day Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to drive 2,000 miles. I'm going to get there early enough to probably do a 34, unless I just kind of like casually drive it over there. Should I call on this load? Should I do it? Man, 43,000 pounds driving across country. I don't know if I want to do that. All right, here's the Doraville, Georgia load. They don't have anything in the notes. All right, let's figure out what I want to get for fuel surcharge on this. So it's 2172 times 0.35, $760. The fuel surcharge needs to be in the ballpark of $760 on this. A little lower, a little higher. This load was posted like 30 minutes ago or something. That's a lot of damn mountains. Let's check the Atlanta market before we make a decision. Let me pull up a search page of the Atlanta market. All right, I'm using the exact same parameters that I use for my Oklahoma City search, except I shortened the range down to only 150 miles. So no more than 38,000 pounds, 350 a mile minimum, and a minimum of $2,500. So Scottsboro, Alabama to Elk Grove, California, 388 a mile, 521 a mile. Going to New Mexico, Scottsboro, Alabama to New Mexico, 521 a mile, 30,000 pounds. Holy shit. This is 114 miles away. A bunch of Scottsboro, Alabama loads that are just like awesome. 554 a mile. McMinnville, Tennessee, going to Garden City, Kansas. Hell yeah. Garden City, I believe, is next to Kansas City. So $5,500 to go 1,000 miles. Good Lord, $6.40 a mile. Scottsboro, Alabama to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Holy crap, man. The money. Almost $8 a mile. $7.67 a mile. Scottsboro, Alabama to Bradenton, Florida. Holy shit, man. There's just tons and tons of really good loads. So I might go in here and grab a $9,000 load going to Elk Grove, California. Or hell, not even go all the way to Elk Grove, California, just go to Rio Rancho, New Mexico. I don't know where in the hell Rio Rancho's at, but I'm sure I can find a load in there, and that load's paying $5.36 a mile. Let's look at the details on one of these loads. Find out if they the load you selected is no longer available. The load you selected is no longer available. This one is available. This was listed May 14th at 5:46 p.m. So, okay, these Scottsboro, Alabama loads, the reason that they're paying really well is it's the same shit as the Joplin, Missouri loads. You have to drop the trailer and leave it there for 24 hours to be loaded. So it has an extra day to be loaded. The total amount of time on this load is May 18th through May 28th. So you have 10 days on this load. So these loads pay extra because they have a lot of extra time on them. So all of these Scottsboro, Alabama loads that look like they're really amazing, they actually have a ton of extra time on them. But yeah, Atlanta is looking like a really good place to be. That is an amazing freight market right there. Got to get my vitamin D. Getting some milk. All right, let's refresh these results. Oh, shit. I got to return to search because it's updating with the Atlanta search. Wow, the number of loads dropped from 81,000 to 76,000. 5,000 loads just disappeared off the load board. Yep, and that Georgia load's one of them. That Georgia load is gone. Is this the one? Yeah, Caldwell. Let's refresh, and it'll say that load is no longer available. So, yeah, that was a pretty good load. Let's check out Portland and see what that market is like. Let me pause this. All right, so Portland, Oregon seems to suck ass. I did my same normal Oklahoma City search, only loads under 38,000 pounds, 350 a mile, $2,500. But I did a small search radius from Albany, Oregon, within 100 miles of Albany, which picks up all of Portland. And yeah, it's like there's a huge difference between this and what I was seeing over in the Atlanta area. So Portland is kind of a shithole. So I don't know if I want to try really hard to get over to Portland in the hope that I'm going to find like a really good load headed back east, because it doesn't look like that's happening. It looks like it's a bunch of cheap crap. So this is the loads around son of a, this is annoying. Let me pause this while I go back to the search. This is really annoying. That's one of the annoying things about Landstar's load board is if you have multiple tabs to have multiple searches, um, anything you change on another tab reflects on all tabs. So if you hit refresh after you make a change on another tab, it'll pull the results from the last changes that you made. It's like a shared cookie or something. I don't know. It's annoying. Mm. Yeah, now we're hitting the slower period. Most of the loads are posted in the morning between like 8 and 10 a.m. And we're hitting that slower period in the afternoon where loads are mainly disappearing, not getting added. Is there a way to, like, hide a load? Like, I don't want to see this crap ever again. I would hide all of these line haul loads. News since last, nothing. I probably should have called on that Georgia load. I'm kind of glad that it disappeared. I'm not really feeling like getting over there into the east, dealing with all the traffic and the drama. I don't know what's going to show on this page. So let me pause this. Alright, so the, yeah, it just showed the load that disappeared from the load board isn't there, so I can't. This is still showing 2 loads of interest. Oh, now it's down to 1 load of interest. I'm still getting I've been getting phone calls and text messages from agents. This worthless fucking piece of shit just offered me some cheap fucking shit. What's the mileage on this? Idaho Falls, Idaho to Alac, Florida. This is looking like it's some $2 a mile piece of shit load. 2260 miles, 2,260 miles. So 2260. Wait, got that backwards. $2.65 a mile. Offering me some $2.65 bullshit to go to Florida. Some $2.65 a mile bullshit to go to Florida. $6,000 to go to from Idaho Falls. And there's no way in hell I'm taking that stupid ass route. Driving across the mountains in some highways. So, no, it's 2,363 miles. $2.54 a mile. $2.54 a mile. No, I'm not going to Florida for $2.54 a mile. Can kiss my ass. And I'm not even taking that damn route. Yes, I am. Okay, that's an interstate. That's the 15. Okay, there for a minute I thought it had me cutting across on highways right through the mountains there. Oh my goodness. But let me check my email real quick. No response. I emailed Kathy, my advisor. This is like the 4th time I've reached out to them about all the agents contacting me, because they just contact me offering me cheap loads. And I don't want to haul this cheap crap. That just irritates the hell out of me. Them offering me these bad loads. It's not like they're contacting me and offering me like really good loads. They're contacting me offering me like really cheap garbage. All right, a new load is on here. Is it that damn Alachua, Florida that asshole just offered me? I think it's this one. Let's check the timestamp on it. May 18th at 2:52 p.m. I'm not sure what time zone that's in. That is not the load. It might be this one. May 18th. Yeah, this one was just posted. This is the new one. Power only. You're towing a customer's trailer. It has an air conditioning unit on the front and will only work with a truck with a small sleeper. It has a ton of accessorials. Now, I don't know what in the hell a small sleeper has to do with anything. The small sleeper size has absolutely nothing to do with the distance between the kingpin or the fifth wheel and the back of the sleeper. Your sleeper size has absolutely nothing to do with that. You can have a stretched out truck where your fifth wheel is, 100 feet back and you have a super sleeper on it. Like, it would be more like beneficial if this person would provide like distance required from, like kingpin to back of the sleeper, and I can go out there and measure the distance. So this has got to be military. It's Dugway Proving Grounds in Utah. Okay, so this is out in the middle of nowhere in Utah. So this is saying it's 1265 miles, and he has it listed as 1265 miles. So he got the mileage by doing this bullshit. There's no way in hell that I'm taking this fucking route to get there. This is all highways. So yeah, screw that crap. It's a huge deadhead to get there. Well, not huge. I mean, it's a pretty big deadhead to get there. And it's specialized equipment. I don't even know if I could pull it with my vehicle. So 14, let's refresh. 13. So one load disappeared. I don't want to give up my trailer. But that's a tremendous amount of accessorials. Did you see how that was broken out? Um, like you're going to get almost 100% of that $5,300. It was like $3,000 in accessorial pay and then $2,000 in line haul pay. So you're going to get like 2,000 times 0.65, 1,300. You were going to get like 4,300 of the $5,300 listed there. So that's a pretty solid load. It's contract customer. So this is a direct customer. I don't know. We'll keep looking for a load today. And I've still got like a couple of hours until the brokers leave for the day. And I will also look for loads tomorrow. I didn't see anything that was absolutely amazing today. That was, once I saw it, I was like, oh man, I got a call on that. I did see a couple of loads. I was like, those are, I might want to do that. Right now, the only load left on the load board that I'm mildly interested in is this Bear River City, Utah, going to Albany, Oregon. But in all honesty, like I'm not even really interested in that load anymore because I just looked and saw how bad the loads are coming out of the Portland area, so I don't want to go any further west. Let me pause this real quick and check something. All right, so I changed it back down to $2.50 a mile. And we'll just scroll through here. Right there's the Caldwell, Idaho to Doraville, Georgia. But this one's listed like 30 cents a mile cheaper. It's listed several times. Here's some more of them that are listed even cheaper. Right here's the Idaho Falls to Alachua, Florida. That I just got a text message on. So yeah, this Caldwell, Idaho to Atlanta, that load is gone. I wish there was a way to search for loads that were posted within a certain time period. Hmm. Ogden, Utah to Salem, Oregon. 363 a mile. But that's going over into Oregon, which is a really bad market. All of these short runs are going into Oregon. I need a short run that's paying, a decent rate per mile. It's going somewhere east. Missoula, Montana to Hazlet, Texas. 800 pounds of chemical. SHI. That is a very familiar. I've dealt with SHI. I don't know if I don't like them or I like them. I think I don't like them. So it's 381 deadhead miles to go pick this thing up. But it's supposedly only 800 pounds. It's probably a single barrel of chemical. Oh my goodness. So a 55-gallon drum of gas weighs about 330 pounds. So this is probably about 3 drums. So there's just going to be 3 drums probably loaded up in the front of the trailer. Where the hell is Hazlet, Texas? North Fort Worth. I mean, the only thing that really sucks about that is the deadhead miles. How many deadhead miles was it? 381. It's almost 400 deadhead miles. This distance right here, those are straight line miles. 400 miles to go pick it up and then drive it down to Fort Worth. If I really wanted to go home, then yeah. But I'm not really looking to go home right now. So what I'll probably be doing for the rest of my afternoon up until 5 p.m. is hitting new since last search to see, what new stuff has popped up there, and wait and see if there's any good loads that pop up there. So that's it for now. The rest of it's just going to be me hitting new since last search for the rest of the day and getting a whole lot of nothing available because they don't post a lot of loads in the afternoon. Mainly it's between like 8 and 10 a.m. that they post the new loads. So thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.